Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh, and we're glad to have you here today.
Yep.
Do a little talking about Dallas real estate, and kind of wanted to start off the show with a special announcement. Wanted to say happy birthday to Wyatt Pugh. I think he turns, 45 or 46. So happy birthday, little brother.
I hope you're right about that.
It's one of the two.
Happy birthday, Wyatt.
So I think that one of the things that we kind of caught our eye this week was that we got a really interesting email from the new CEO of Ebby Halliday. Mm-hmm. And I think some of the information that he brought, we feel would be important for some of our listeners. So.
Yeah, it's it was really kind of an assessment of the market, and Chris has only been in our marketplace for a few weeks now, but he is really well versed in how to evaluate what's happening with the real estate market. I think this is probably one of the more exciting times in my career, anyway, to have somebody like him step in and take over our family of companies, and I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely. So, what were some of your big takeaways that you saw on that email that he sent out?
There were a couple of things. Number one, there has still never been a better time to buy real estate. Interest rates are at historically low points right now. Housing prices were still up over the last year, almost 6%, and rents have continued to rise. And I think one of the biggest points in it that kind of stood out to me is he reiterated that 41%, people who own homes have 41% greater, 41 times the wealth that someone who rents their home does.
And both of those two things that you talked about, rent and the wealth, those were two of the things that in the economic forecast that we listened to earlier this year, where we had speakers from NAR and from A&M come in, they both echoed the exact same thing. So I thought it was interesting because he wasn't then the CEO and he wasn't at that. So it's interesting for him to be able to deduce that kind of is still a constant and consistent information.
Yeah, there's been some really big articles written over the last few weeks or so about it's kind of gloom and doom on the Dallas real estate market, because we have had 4 or 5 years of really exciting growth and astronomical price increases. But even the latest forecast that the IC are calling for maybe a 1% drop in the number of sales in 2019. That's still going to make 2019 the second best year that that's happened. So.
Yeah. So again, real estate still seems to be on track. And we'll keep our eye on it. And if we see anything that's coming up that when you need to be aware of, we'll definitely be sure to jump in and let you know.
Absolutely.
So what did we pull today for real estate?
Well, every week we go out in the marketplace and look for houses for people that we know are looking for homes, and then we are also kind of scouring the market because we know we have listings that are coming on. And there were a few that popped out to us this week that we wanted to come and talk to you about. And the first one is a condominium at the Travis on Knox, and it's at 4611 Travis Street. It's unit number 805B, and this is at that real iconic corner of Travis and Knox Street.
Yep.
It is a fantastic location, half a block from the Katy Trail. There are hundreds of restaurants within walking distance. Maybe hundreds is an exaggeration. But
slight exaggeration, but it's
100-ish.
It's definitely one of the hot areas to live and actually go and entertain in. You have Toulouse, which is always one of the staples. You've got the new, not new sushi restaurant, but the one that's down there. Love it. And then we also have up on Knox, which is a new restaurant that is a great one. This one actually is on the 8th floor, and what makes it great is it actually faces due west almost. And so you get lots of great sunlight, and you actually get to view Katy Trail. So this one is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It comes in at 2201 square feet. It's a little bit on the larger side, but not unmanageable. I feel like 2 people could comfortably live in this. What's great about this unit is that the view of downtown Dallas, the view of Katy Trail and all that is Knox, is visible from both the living room, 2nd bedroom, and the master. So this is something that you're going to go to bed and wake up to, which really, if you're living inside of a high rise, this is a great space for that. The unit in itself is an easy sit up so that it actually is a 2-story unit inside. The second living space is on the 2nd floor, which is great for if you had a getaway office space. Inside the main living area, the kitchen is set up with all Viking appliances. And it needs a little bit of updating, I guess, just to be today's standards. Easy though, easy job to redo. I wouldn't relocate any of the cabinets or anything like that. I would just completely go in, new granite, maybe think about redoing the cabinets and cabinet doors. Flooring in this one would also be an easy thing to updo. But for the most part, this is a move-in ready unit, and it is turnkey. And I find out that so many people, whether they're downsizing or whether they're just moving out of Uptown, this is one of the things that they're really looking for, is that lock and leave lifestyle.
And it's a really great building, from the way it's finished out to the secured parking or secured assigned parking within the building itself. The residents there have direct access in private elevators to go up to the different units. It's a relatively small building in terms of the number of units. I think there are only 45 units, 43 units in the whole building. And this one does have one of the premier points in the building.
And this one is priced at $495, and when we factor that into the 2,200 square feet, that comes in at $224, which is a magical number, giving you plenty of room to actually make some updates if you wanted to. This is definitely one of the good values that we've seen in a long time, especially in that building. So we wanted to say a special thank you to Allison O'Haran for allowing us to visit about her property. So thank you so much, Allison.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on, and I think that the next one we're going to take a look at is going to be 305 South Windermere. And this takes us back down into the Bishop's Art District, into a very, very popular area of town called Winnetka Heights.
Yep, it's in the Winnetka Heights Historic District. And as Weston said, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, historic home, built in 1911. The home has concentric hardwood floors, beambox ceilings. A lot of the original glass is still in place. There are many pieces of the original leaded glass that are still in place. Just a fantastically kept home.
So this one right here is one of the houses that is the California bungalow that is an Americana true and true. The front porch on this one has been redone, and it was a labor-intensive job, more of a labor of love. The color palette, again, is reminiscent of that era. Once inside, like Jeff was saying, the craftsmanship and the detailing in the actual wood that was either on the floors, on the ceiling, or in the solid wood doors that have been left behind is amazing. This home right here is set up so that this 3rd bedroom can also be opened up and create a second living space if that's something that is more desirable for you. But one of the things that's unique about this house is that the outdoor space has such a large deck that you're allowed to have room for dining, cooking, entertaining, lounging, all around the pool.
Yeah.
So we've had great traffic with this one. It is such a desirable location. Bishop Art District could not be any more relevant right now with today's buyers, and is such a draw in and of itself that this home really just has that perfect go-to back and forth. One of the other things that we're seeing is that Jefferson Street is also beginning to catch on, and this house is walkable distance to Jefferson Street. So if you're wanting to go to one of the bars, Mesa, or one of the craft beer places on Jefferson, this is also great for that.
Yep, and it's also unique in that it has a pool.
Yeah.
And there are only about 5% of the homes in Winnetka Heights that actually have pools. So it's a great opportunity for someone. This home is priced at $450,000, and I believe that brings it in at 241 a square
Something like
foot?
that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
241 a square foot.
Very good. Well, this one will also be an open house on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be there Sunday.
From 1 to 4. So if you'd like to come by, take a look at the house firsthand, please come on by. And also watch for the advertorial that we'll have in the Dallas Morning News in the real estate section. This is a really great property.
Yep.
So we're going to shift gears and we're going to go to the other side of town. And this is one of the, when people are looking for houses that are in a super affordable and clean, this is one of the go-to areas right now.
This is the property is located at 1903 Viewcrest Drive, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, 2-car detached garage. It's really a cute little home.
Yeah.
It's been completely redone, even to the point of having solar panels installed. This is right off of Ferguson and Oates, which is just south of the Costa View neighborhood. It's very conveniently located to White Rock Lake. Lots of neighborhood parks there. Just another really convenient location. And I think you said the key word in your initial description, which is it is affordable.
It is. It is one of the best things about this house is that this house right here is one of the houses that also is affordable. Plus, on a monthly basis, those solar panels actually in the right months are giving you money back because the house doesn't consume all that electricity. We love the area also because it's so low in close to White Rock Lake, and it also gets you onto 30 really quickly. So if you needed to be around downtown or whatnot, the house itself, they've actually gone through and refinished the hardwood floors that are in there and moved a couple of the walls around to give you a little extra space. The spacing is good. It's useful. It doesn't demand large or too much furniture, which is, I think, one of the great things when we look at a house and what it costs. The affordability on this one just continues to repeat itself. One of the things that we looked at and thought might be of interest for someone is to take this house and go one step further. It already has the solar panels. It already has an Ecobee thermostat. One of the things might be to replace the windows and just really begin to create that smart, low impact carbon house.
Yeah.
And I think this would be a really good stepping off point for that.
Again, to find something in the $255,000 price point
That's
right
this
now,
clean?
that's this clean is really difficult to do.
The other thing too is that this has that detached garage. And so it's not like you've skimped because that third bedroom was actually a 1-car garage. This has its own separate detached garage, which just kind of finishes the house out. Again, I forgot, we've got a little bit of a cover space on the back, which again extends the life of the house by giving you outdoor entertainment space out that's not in the sun.
Yep.
So this one comes in at $255, which is $185 a square foot. Again, $185 a square foot. If you're looking in Dallas for solar panels, you will not find it for this.
That's true.
So we want to thank you so much, Jorge Goldsmith, for allowing us to speak about your house. It's a great one, and good luck with that. All right.
And the next one that we wanted to talk to you about is another listing that we have that is just off of Forest and Central. And this is a home that is located at 11743 El Hara Circle. Wonderful Tuscan feel to this home. This was a newer construction. These people, I think, built this home 17 or 18 years ago, and really it's just another labor of love. Situated beautifully on this creek lot that is the lot itself, I think, is only about 0.6 of an acre, but there is another lot next door to or small section next door to this between it and Forest Lane that is a city-owned property, but because of the way the easements are right there, the city has allowed these owners to build a concrete or a cinder block wall along the Forest Lane side of it, really protecting the backyard from that direct impact.
Yep. One of the things that when we immediately walked in this house, it has such a grand feel to it. This house actually comes in and allows you to open up the entire formal and dining area into one space. The ceilings are actually 22 feet high, and the glass is almost 22 feet as well. So in the evenings, you get a beautiful sunset. The staircase wraps up around the side. wonderfully done. Detail and the taste level on this house is really impeccable. One of the things that you don't see very often is a house that actually has two offices. One of the offices is right off of the master bedroom, and the second one is closer to the kitchen. The unique feature about this house is that it has a wine grotto for 600 bottles. So if you are a connoisseur of wine, this is the place for you. This is a great view that Ziggy just had up that actually showed you the beams inside of the ceiling that add just another layer of that real Tuscan feel. Can't go on enough about having the 3-car garage. This is a view right here that allows you to see the creek, but this is from the kitchen looking over the enormous island that's right there and then through to the second fireplace and the second living room. So again, you can have these large spaces, but then the way that they've changed the roof also allows you to feel more intimate and cozy. Great thing about this one is that the master is also on the first floor. And the master is a large master on the back of the house, separate from the other bedrooms. So if that's something that you need for your household, this is a great one for you.
And it's got that great office right off of the master there that is really a separate room. You don't have to go into the master to get to it, but it's easily accessible from the master. So if you're somebody that works late in the evening or needs to have that kind of separation, it's great.
Yeah. If you had clients that came over, they wouldn't actually be spilling into the house as well. So wonderful home, well designed. This one is actually coming in at $1,995,000, which again, because of the square foot of being 44 or 47, gets us down to 246 a square foot, which again, for something of this quality and size is amazing.
Yeah, it's a fantastic home. I would like to add one last thing.
Sure.
3-car garage.
Yeah, it is. And so it's a 2-car garage on one side, and then on the master side, there is a single car garage. So if that is the one that you need to put the Roadster in, this is a great one to keep protected so that nobody dings it.
That's right. And both are directly accessible to the house. So
Absolutely.
There's many times you have that configuration of garage and that 1-car garage is dangling out there and you got to close the door behind it. Not in this one.
So we want to say thank you so much. And if you have any interest in this one, please let us know. This one will be open quite often. So very good. Well, I think one of the things that we wanted to shift to in the second segment was to talk about buying a new home. Buying a new home is a wonderful and exciting time, and I feel like because I did new home sales for forever, that I saw firsthand the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I thought this would be a great time for Jeff and I, he's got 30 years of experience, to talk about our experience and talk about what we think makes a really good new home transition. So
we probably had more new home sales this year, just percentage-wise, than what we've had in several years.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because of the new infill product that in the urban neighborhoods that's going on. That people think a lot of times new construction is just out in those suburban markets in the big, and it's really not.
And that's a great point, is that because of commutes and because of land prices in ungentrified areas, you can see new construction in a location that wasn't there sometimes 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's take a quick minute and let's talk about this. So if you want to, take some notes. If not, Texas. This was our top, I think, 6, but I guarantee that there's probably about 20 that we could give you. So let's take a look at the first one that we've got. So the first one is going to talk about location, location, location. One of the things that we always want you to think about is think twice before buying near a neighborhood entrance, school, or a community center. Large lots, cul-de-sacs, and greenbelts are much more valuable. And remember that the discount you get when you buy is also the discount you have to give when you sell.
Right. Yeah. The builders know that the location, even within a subdivision, different parts of it have could have dramatically different values.
Huge.
One of the new home constructions that we sold, and this was more out in one of the rural not rural, but Rockwall market. One of those, I think there was a $40,000 or $50,000 difference, lot price difference between one lot that happened to be a little bit closer to some power lines, and it wasn't as though that lot backed up to power lines. They just happened to be a little closer. And the builder knew that the ones away from it were going to be more expensive.
And point this out because this is the one chance, especially if you're buying from the point that you're looking at what we call dirt and you're going to actually pick the lot that actually goes on it. This is the one chance when you actually get to determine where in that neighborhood it's going to be. And this is the time when you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but it is going to be worth it because you're going to get the exact space that you want and you can maximize versus having to like just deal with being close to, like, as we said, an entrance of school or the community center. All seem great, but you have to remember not everybody wants to be next to the community center. The other thing that I kind of wanted to point out was the discount. If you get a discount, when you purchase, and they'll tell you we're making concession because you are next to the water towers, you're next to the green belt that has the electrical. That's great, but just know that you also have to give that discount back to the person that buys it. So it is what it is. No, and everybody has a budget. So let us know, and we are happy to help you work out with that.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Moving on to our next one. This is really, really important, and I've seen this happen firsthand. And Weston's titled it "Make Nice with the Salespeople and the Construction People," and we have seen both ends of this spectrum where the buyer has been disrespectful to the salesperson or disrespectful to the construction people, and they don't end up with, I think, as good a home as the one that shows up with the bottle of champagne or the for the salespeople, or the 6-pack, or the cooler full of cold water on a hot summer day for the construction guys. It does make a difference. Don't be a pest over little things. Even buying a brand new construction home, that home is not going to be perfect. People make mistakes. Many times people want to correct those mistakes. But if you are just that person that is overbearing and is there on site every day, that will not work out to your advantage.
It's fine to go on site every day. And if you have little things, it should be in an email that is concise. And that's kind of what we said in the third or fourth one, is to actually put it in one and not singly send them over and over. It needs to be one every week of things that you've noticed and have them address it.
Yeah.
One of the big things is also not to instruct subs. That is one of the quickest ways to upset the construction manager.
Yeah, subcontractors are in many cases are not employees of the builder, but they are subcontracted by the builder to come out, and they may come out and do the electrical, they may come out and do the plumbing, and if you show up and you start trying to tell them what to do, they may pack up their toys and head out the door.
It also affects the warranty. If at the end of the day, when they come back and you say, hey, this outlet right here doesn't work, and they pull the plans and they're like, we didn't put that in there. It's not on the drawing. So gentle with that. So again, beer to the construction, wine and champagne. I literally have a client that said, the best thing I ever did was take that bottle of champagne to sales because it made such a difference. They are never appreciated, and it just goes the distance on this. So take your cue, take a bottle of wine, take a 6-pack of beer on Friday. So that's the number 2. And the number 3, builder incentives. So this is key. We all need to know how builder incentives work. So builder incentives can be taken off the price of the home, a lot premium, used at the design center, and or paying for the title policy. The title policy is close to 1% of the sales price. But all of these incentives are typically tied directly to using the builder's lender and the title company. So just remember that. Be very clear in understanding that. There's nothing worse than thinking that $12,000 is going to come off, and you've gone with USAA, and that is tied directly to their lender. So watch out for very frustrating times on that.
Yes. Yep.
And we have seen really good lenders come through. So don't be afraid or think that you're not going to get the right deal. It actually will work out for you.
Yeah. And it is certainly worth shopping around.
Yeah.
But in many instances, they're going to meet or beat whatever else you can find in the marketplace. They're more about controlling the sale and knowing it's going to close and having that kind of knowledge about the transaction. That's of value to them.
And the thing, if you think about it, they're wanting you to use their title company because their people behind the scenes are used to working with one person at the title company. And so if they had to do 30 homes in 6 months and they had 30 different title companies they were dealing with, it would just be an amazing headache. Whereas if you have one title company, you can make one phone call, and in 1 hour, you can be caught up on all your files. So note to self, that's that. The fourth one is stick to a budget at the design center. This is
This is probably the number one place that people, I'm not going to say get in trouble, but
That's a good word for it.
they get out of control.
Out of control, and then they get let down. Like they feel like something was taken away from them.
Right.
But nothing's been taken away from them. They just overspent money they didn't have in the first place.
That's correct.
So
It's very easy. I mean, we've watched it happen where we walk in with a buyer into the design center, and all of a sudden all the different granite selections come out, and then there's all the other wall colors, and then there's the level 6 granite, and that's another. Before you know it, they could have easily spent $60,000 or $70,000 in upgrades, and
then it has to appraise for that.
yeah, it has to appraise for that, and it doesn't. Those upgrades don't mean any. They really don't mean any more value in that property to most other buyers out there. I mean,
Right.
they mean do a house. I always think do a house the way that you want to do it, and know that you're going to pay for it.
Right. So one of the things that we really like for clients to think long and hard about are structural upgrades. So anything that would include flat work, anything that would actually extend a roof line, moving walls, windows, that should be done by the developer.
Should be done, definitely done by the builder.
Because that becomes warranted, and it's also been registered with the city. No additional permits have to be pulled. The same people doing the electrical and that are the same people that did the rest of the house. So that's a really big one that we really try to get people to focus on. Aside from that, the budget is the most important thing. And so having a budget and saying the X number of dollars that I want to spend, let's just use rough numbers, are 60,000. And from there, you price out as much as you can, and then are able to shuffle and give. So if the level 5 flooring throws you so far out of budget, but there is a level 3, and then that allows you to get a level 2 in the granite, these are things that just don't go in there with only one type of wood floor.
Yeah.
Be flexible, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and when we talk about different levels, the builders grade their product based on the price they're going to charge you. So a level 1, 2, or 3 granite is probably what comes with the home, but it's the cost difference between the level 3 and the level 5 that you've chosen that instantly begins to hit the budget.
So again, most important thing, budget, and number 2 is get those structurals done.
Yep.
So the next one that we're going to talk about is
Next one is also super duper important. Hire an inspector or more than one if necessary. I want to talk about that for just a minute because
it is critical.
Again, on brand new construction, it is not going to be perfect, and again, they many times hire subcontractors to come and do these things, and those subcontractors are coming in, and they may be installing 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 air conditioning systems in different homes at one time. Yeah, and there's a chance that they are going to miss something or wire something improperly, or run a hose incorrectly. I mean, we've seen all of those things happen, and the way that you may spend another $400 or $500 to have it inspected, but that is you're going to make sure you get a lot closer to a perfect home when you have a set of third party eyes looking at that home.
And so the other thing too, and not to speak ill of developers, but their line is the city inspects it. And that's not the same as what we're talking about. We're talking about a mechanical inspection. We're not talking, did they put the stuff up to code? Because that's a quick one. They just come in and out and do it. This is completely different.
Yeah, and many times city inspectors are coming out to look at 10 homes at one time. And so they're not looking at that one home and figuring out if every plug and every outlet works in it, which is what you want your inspector to do.
Absolutely.
You want to flip every light switch. You want to turn ceiling fans on. You want to make sure it's vented proper. It's vented. It's amazing what they do.
And then, so from an inspection report, one of the things we want to point out is do not move in until the home is 100% completed.
Yep.
People always hear that you can move in and we'll get it done after. and I speak from experience, that anything left on that list after you close will take 4 times longer for it to get completed.
Yeah.
The urgency is not there. They mean well, they want to do it, but there is a lack of urgency. It just doesn't matter what builder it is, it's going to happen.
Yep, that is true.
So
Once the money has changed hand, the urgency changes, the pressure changes. It really does kind of make the balance of power uneven.
yes.
So,
And the easiest way to make sure that everything is done 100% before is not to have to move in on a specific date.
Right.
If you have flexibility in your move in, then that gives them time. If you can literally say, I still have time to wait.
Yeah,
I can wait 3 or 4 more days. Go ahead and get it done, guys.
Or-
it changes everything.
yeah, or even have a 2 or 3 or a 4 week buffer built into that process, because the more pressure you have on you and the more excited you're getting about moving into the home, the more likely you're going to make a decision that you might regret making in allowing some things to be not completed.
You will also have to weather against your exhaustion and just the I want to be in. You will have to weather against it, and that's what a good agent will be there to remind you and to help you and to
And
bring
hold
you
your
in.
hand.
Yes, to rein you in and
Yep,
to tell you
and-
it is okay. We want to do this.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to talk about the last one for today, and then this is the one that is near and dear to my heart. I've seen it a million times. It says, expect delays and tears. Whether it's because of weather, contractors, or supply availability, there will be delays. So again, this goes back to the move-in. You said a month, and I would love it if every single one of my clients had a month. That is ideal. That means people are happy, and it will get done.
What I see a lot of people do, well, we see people do, I think, is that they're trying to time these 2 moves together where there's not a lot of overlap of costs of 2 homes. So whether you have another home that you're renting, whether you're living in an apartment that you're renting,
Right.
whether you own another home that you might be selling, if you've got a month of overlap there,
The best month you ever had.
yeah, it's great.
If you have a $1,700 a month mortgage, that is worth every penny to be able to have one entire month to get moved in, to paint, to have everything hooked up, rather than have that moving truck right behind you at the at the closing table. It doesn't work. We do this for a living. We do 100 a year, and it is one of our least favorite things is to have simultaneous closes because it is so stressful and tricky, and it's not even us that are moving, and we get stressed. So.
Yeah.
With that, proceed with caution.
I would say we've become pretty good at that because
Yeah.
so many of our people this year have been the move up buyer,
One in,
or
one
the
out.
move down. Yeah. So it does become a dance, but
It is. So again, remember, not having that hard move-in date is the best thing for you. Giving yourself a couple of days to a month is absolutely ideal. Mark and Jen, you did it right on your new home. Thank you so much for keeping your rental for 1 extra month to allow you to get that house ready and not to have to stress about it. You did a great job.
Yep.
So
those are our tips for new construction for today. We may come back and revisit this because,
Yeah.
like Weston said, there's probably at least another 15 more of these. But I think we hit on some really important ones today.
Yep. If you're thinking about buying a new home construction or just a home in general, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your feedback also on this show. If there's anything that you'd like to write in and let us know that is important to you, or you have a question or something that you've seen in the market and that doesn't seem to add up, we would love to hear about it. So look for us on all sorts of social media. I think Jeff's about to hit that and talk to
am.
you about that.
So we wanted to say thank you today for tuning in, and there are lots of ways for you to reach out to us. Go to our Facebook page and like that if you would. We keep information about our properties up there all the time. Go to our Instagram page. You can see more properties or more pictures of property up there. Also visit updikepugh.com. You are directly connected to the MLS. We can set up searches for you in there. And then last of all, homeprice.fyi, where you can instantly get the value of your home. Lastly, you can reach out to us in the old-fashioned ways, and there's this piece of electronic equipment called a phone that
In
you
your
can
hand right
text
now?
us, or you can call us. We'd love to talk to you.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I think it's been a great show, and I will try to grow the beard back out for next week. Y'all have a great time, and we appreciate you.
Happy holidays. Thank you.